The video I made on pendulums several months back has just blown up. You guys have loved it, and I'm so grateful. So today I'm addressing some of the follow-up questions because you've had a lot of them. If you're interested in this, stick around and let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back to the Wholeness Shift. My name is Veronica, and I teach people about spirituality and intentional living and all of the little things you can do to make your life amazing. As you can see, I'm sitting here in my house that's not put together yet. I just got done painting this room, so I'll just give you a quick little 360, but you can see boxes and clutter and mess. That was so messy, sorry. Bear with me. Yeah. So that's where I'm coming to you from right now. Soon, I just found where I packed my lights and my cameras, so soon we'll be up and running. But I wanted to pop in here real quick, first of all, to say happy birthday to the Wholeness Shift. We are a year old, and we have like, I want to say 2,200 subscribers. So thank you. She's still a tiny little baby who's growing, but 2,200 people have wanted to take part in this and have appreciated what I have to say. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Together, we are going to help raise our consciousness, and we're going to just start a love revolution in this world. We're going to make intentional decisions every day that help make our lives better and create the lives of our dreams. And in doing so, we are going to make a better world. So thank you. So today I'm going to talk about the pendulum video that I made, how to use a pendulum, and I will link to that. I have had so many follow-up questions, emails, messages, comments coming from all over the world, and I appreciate every single one of them. So let me just preface this by saying that if you have a question, let me know. Send it to me. I get it. I get them no matter how you send them to me, and I respond to every single one of them. And I've actually made some new friends by doing this, so that's awesome too. But I've noticed as these comments and questions have been coming in that there's kind of a recurrent theme going on with some of them. Some common questions. So I thought that I would just address some of the top questions or comments that I'm getting, and maybe they apply to you too. So if you have any other ones, send them to me and I'll address those as well. Okay, first comment I want to make is remember to raise your vibrations. So many of the comments and questions that I'm getting are centered around the fact that you guys were so gung-ho to go use these pendulums, which is awesome, and I love that. However, you have to use wisdom, and wisdom would say, get your vibes up. I cannot stress this enough. You're going to get better quality information. You're going to be able to receive the information. You're not going to get as many little ornery tricksters coming through trying to fool you if you have your vibrations high and if you're going at it with a peaceful heart. If you're going at it just all willy-nilly and not paying attention to the state of your energy at the time, not making sure your space has been cleansed, your pendulum is cleansed, you are cleansed, your vibes are high, etc., you may or may not get trustworthy information. You may or may not even get kind information coming through. So be mindful of that, you guys. Okay, number 2, I got a lot of people wondering, how do I trust the information that I'm getting coming through? How do I know that this is accurate information and that I can trust it? And the answer is, does it feel right to you? Does it sit well with your gut? Does it sound like it's accurate? If your gut's telling you, then maybe you shouldn't trust it. But the even better answer than that is you don't have to know if everything's real or not when it's coming through. Just take the information for what it is and move forward with your life. See if things are coming true or not. I've responded to at least a few people and used the analogy of dating. And I'm like, it's just like dating a new person. When you meet this person, they can tell you anything they want to tell you. You don't know if there's any way of trusting it or not. You just have to trust, right? You just have to move forward, because the good thing is that time and truth always meet. Always. The truth will always come out. So, just like in dating someone, you have to pay attention to if you're getting any red flags and if something is sitting right with your gut. And if not, you just have to take the information with a grain of salt and keep it moving. Time and truth will always meet, and you will find out if stuff is true or not. And then if you find out things aren't true, you can just kick rocks and get out of there. But with the information you're getting from your pendulum, let them establish some trust. Number 3 thing I want to say, combined with this, is that you don't have to set such high expectations of what information you're going to get or what person you're going to talk to or anything like that. Go into this with no expectations. Protect yourself, raise your vibes, and then just set the intention that you want to talk to whichever one of your guides or angels would be most appropriate or benevolent for you to talk to in that moment, and for them to share whatever information they want you to have in that moment. And then allow them to tell you, because if you're like, am I going to have this happen, or when am I going to meet Mr. Right, or etc., what day am I going to start my new job, that kind of thing, that's a little too specific. You may or may not get accurate information. And that is because number 4 is timelines. Now, if you don't know what I mean by timeline, in a nutshell, off of every single moment in time, every little decision and micro decision comes a different timeline. If you do this, this may happen. 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 And the information that you are receiving from your pendulum at that moment is based on the current timeline that you're on. So in any given day, and this is just hypothetical, I don't have a real number. I mean, the real number, I suppose, is infinite, but in any given day, you could potentially jump timelines dozens of times or hundreds of times. So when your guides are giving you, when they're giving you answers or information in that moment in time, that information is based on the current timeline that you are on. If you stay on this train track, this is the outcome you're going to get. This is what you can expect. This is what's going to happen. Well, if you jump to a different train track, you're not going to necessarily get the same outcome from a certain situation. And so when you say, well, they told me that this was going to happen and it didn't, well, that could be because you jumped timelines. Number 5, another thing that you can do that I personally did was ask them to start showing me things in my dreams. And that is because your guides are in charge of your dreams, as we've spoken about at least a few times before. Ask them to show you stuff in your dreams or to give you a sign. For example, I did a whole video on reincarnation that I will link to below, and I used this specific technique there because on my pendulum they were telling me about all of these past lives I'd lived and the years, etc. And I was like, you're right. I was skeptical. I did not necessarily believe in reincarnation at that time. And so I asked them for more proof, and they told me to start paying attention to my dreams that they would show me. And boy, did they. And since not only that one series of dreams that I was having about that woman, I've had probably hundreds of other dreams about other people. Amazing, fantastic, very, very cool dreams. And so they have used that tool to corroborate the information they're giving me. So I know that if I get it through my pendulum and I have a dream about it, yeah, they mean business. So ask them to give you a sign, or ask them to send you information, or whatever. Or just follow your gut. Take it and see if it resonates as true with your gut. Number 6 is a biggie, you guys. Please, please, please be so careful with the mistrust that you have of the information. Many of you have commented and said, I got some really good information, but the more I think about it, I just don't know if I could trust it. How do I know if I'm just being tricked? The answer is, like we just talked about, doesn't matter. Take it for what it's worth and keep it moving. Do not sit and dwell on it and create this whole ball of mistrust, because you are going to create some big momentum. Law of attraction, you're going to create some big momentum with mistrust and wrong information and a fear of being lied to or taken advantage of. You're going to create that, and you're going to start manifesting it. And so every time you sign onto your pendulum, you'll probably get some funky information or a little trickster coming through messing with you. And that's because that is what you have put out there. That is the energy you have put out there. So if you are feeling that happening and you feel that you are starting to create this and get some momentum going with it, put the pendulum down, step away. Either be in it with an open mind, open heart, and figure that I'm going to trust this information, or it really doesn't matter either way. I'm going to take the information for what it's worth, and if it happens, awesome, and if not, that's okay too. That way you don't have any momentum going, or put it down, step away, go do other things in your life, and just don't mess with the pendulum right now until you can be in a better, more trusting, peaceful state that without expectations, and that you will be content with whatever outcome comes. Next is, how do I know what my guide's yes or no looks like? Well, as I explained in the first pendulum video, ask them. Either ask them or tell them. I tend to ask. I asked my guide, please show me a yes response, show me a no response. Or if it's, and now because I'm so used to his yeses and nos, any new guides that come on, my intention now is just a yes is a circle, a no is back and forth. And I don't know, or I'm not going to answer is just standing still. It just comes to a stop. So any new guides coming on, they just adopt that because that's my expectation. Okay, next is, do I have to have an actual crystal pendulum, or can I use anything else? And I also addressed this in the first video, but the answer is you can use anything. Anything that swings and that you could get some motion going, dangles and swings, use it. I use my necklace. You can use a washer or a nut tied on the end of a piece of string. You can use anything. Try it and see if it works. Okay, so the final question is, how do I cleanse my pendulum? And there are many ways to cleanse your pendulum. First and foremost, though, I want to tell you that check for the individual stone or crystal that you're using to make sure that it's safe to do some of these. Like putting your crystals in some salt water for like 15 minutes is a nice cleanse. But some crystals will disintegrate or be ruined if you put them in salt water. So just Google your particular crystal, make sure that they're water safe. Other ways that you can do it is to set them all out in the moonlight, the full moonlight particularly. Set them on your windowsill or set them outside. The full moon cleanses and charges crystals. And you can smudge, using sage or Palo Santo or any of those things. Smudge yourself, smudge your whole space, smudge your crystal, your pendulum. And some people say that you don't have to cleanse them at all, that they naturally cleanse themselves, like crystals in the earth don't need cleansed, so why would the crystal in your home? But I do believe that they can take on the energy of what they're around. So I prefer to cleanse mine. You can also just go bury them in some dirt. You know, I know some people who have like a flower pot that they keep with potting soil in it, and they'll just bury them in the dirt. Anything that gets them back to Mother Earth and to nature and helps to ground them. And some people say all you have to do is set the intention that they're going to be cleaned. You know, ask for help. You know, it's as simple as balancing your own chakras. You just have to ask. So ask for help cleansing these crystals and raising their vibrations. So try all of them. Try one of them. It's easy. Just dive in and have fun with this. Okay, guys. Well, I hope that this helped you. I hope this answered some questions. I know it's kind of informal, me sitting here in my empty living room, and but it's nice to just come hang out with you and answer your questions. If you liked this video, hit the like button below. It helps me get boosted in the algorithms and gets this information to more and more people, which is what's important. So hope you're doing well. Love you, miss you, want to kiss you. And keep your vibes high. Go meditate. Do something that brings you some joy today. I'll talk to you soon.